Hello and welcome to the Extreme Z Podcast, the only Dokkan podcast making your favorite talk show format relevant again. I'm your host, Epic Mewtwo.
And I'm your co-host, Kevon.
And welcome to episode 42 of the Extreme Z Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing?
Tired.
Dude, same.
Got him.
Got him. I hope you guys are doing well, though. Hope all of you are staying safe out there. We honestly have I guess you probably know this by the timestamp on the screen, but we have a pretty short episode ahead of us today. Probably. I know it's kind of like a podcast meme at this point that, there's not a lot of news today. And then it's like, we're like, it was an hour. Okay. Well, realistically, though, I don't think that there's actually a lot of news, though, because both versions are actually gearing up for the release and re-release of Gogeta Blue and Vegito Blue, obviously Global with the 5th year anniversary and JP with the 10-up Bada banner. Now, kind of spinning off of that, Global has been doing some shenanigans lately, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the podcast, with Global releasing some things ahead of when they would have released on JP. But before we get into that, let's talk about the news. Let's get right. Not getting DMCA'd by Keem. Let's go. So, to start us off here, we did have a new event that wasn't actually new, but I believe it just returned. It didn't have any updates. The 10kg Budokai event, basically the event where the infamous scene where Videl gets the thankfully they don't actually show that in Dokkan. Whoever at Akatsuki was smart enough to not make that decision, props to you. We also then had the newer Boo event, the one where, Goku is like, bye, and he's also holding Gohan and whatever, also return. We did have the Extreme, so this was actually pretty interesting, I will say. We did have the Extreme Z Awakening arrive for Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black, which is so funny, because usually when it comes to Global First EZAs, they're on Global for a while. When Rose was announced on JP, I don't even think he was actually out yet on Global, right?
No, I don't think I think it was out for like a day, if anything.
Yeah, something like that. It was either like a day or he hadn't even been released yet, but it was just really funny that they announced it that quickly. I was like, man, they really killed that whole Global First EZA thing real quick. Because like Vegito, it took 2 months? True. That is true. They did not lie. Although technically, I guess it's being added into the game is the point, but technically before it was added in on Global, it was released on JP, or revealed on JP's, and I don't know, but it was just kind of funny considering Vegito took like 2 months or something.
Yeah.
Goof troop out here, bro. But very interesting nonetheless. Obviously glad that JP now has the boys. We do get the brand new Awakenings as well for the Fizz support units. These guys are actually pretty cool. They do follow the typical support unit formula, but it is nice that all these guys are getting Awakenings. And I think with these guys we have all the types covered now? Or am I missing one?
I believe we have all of them.
Yeah, this should be the last one. Obviously Super Boo and Kaisu Gohan. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the type banners going forward, because as it stands right now, oddly enough, these guys, all of these type support units, are the most rare units in Dokkan, bar like some really exclusive examples like Toa and Mira, but reasonably obtainable units. They're probably the most rare right now because not too many people summon on these banners, and not only that, the other way that you would get them blue coins is basically never the currency on the banner that you're summoning on.
Yeah, pretty much.
So if you're lucky enough to have these guys, very, very good. Obviously, with their Awakenings came some new super attacks, which was nice. Still kind of weird to me that some of these units didn't get super attacks, but some of them did. Yeah, very odd. Thankfully, both of these guys did, in fact, get super attack updates, which was cool. And Boo's art is also very cursed, but also very good for his character.
Now, if these guys can just get out to the general pool, that'd be great.
Someday. If Dragon Ball Fusions could do it, so can this banner. And who knows? Maybe what they'll do is they'll make some new support units that they'll put on these like type banners, and then they will add these guys to the general pool then. Hopefully. It'll be interesting to see what they do though in terms of these yeah, time will tell. It'll be interesting to see if they do more type supports or if they start moving into like dedicated category supports that follow a certain formula to maybe boost some categories that need it, and then they just appear on the type banner the type of unit that they are. Who knows? Again, like Kayvon said, only time will tell.
Yep.
But anyway, obviously the Fizz banner was released with that.
Wow.
What? The Fizz banner? I do want to check actually. I don't think this banner is actually really good. Deborah Salza, one of the hero support Gohan's, Kaioken Goku, and then obviously the support units, and then also Renzi Goku as well. Broly was added to this. I just wanted to make sure, but LR Broly was added to that.
Makes sense.
Which is cool. They've been out long enough. Unfortunately, something later that we're going to get to, they were not a part of. But let's keep going from that. We did have Vegeta's genealogy banner go live. Obviously, Vegeta family category. What funny DBZ space. Of course, being the boost category on the Super Saiyan Rose event. We do also have then the super hot, fully open Bally campaign. Thank you. Very cool. We'll go over part 1 first before we get into the part 2 shenanigans. But we did have the return of the... I think this has been going on for a while now, to be honest. Maybe it's only during major celebrations, but this was the stone thing where every Saturday on during like a certain time, if you logged in, you would get 3 stones. This was what they did to replace Dragon Ball Super's extra stones every time that it aired, way back when that was still happening, and now they just do it occasionally, I think. Unless they do it all the time, but I don't think so. We did also get the introduction of a brand new type of event, kinda. It's kind of cool that they are theming all these different equipment events around the angels, because we now have a equipment event that literally has endless potential in angel. Potential. Sounds like potato angel. The homie, the Grand Priest, being the main unit on this banner. Basically, what this banner is you play through the certain stage, which right now is the stage only for the free-to-play Team Bardock. You get a specific pass or voucher, whatever they call it, and then you use that to buy specific loot crates. I sound like I'm playing Overwatch here. I mean the treasure chests, right, that you buy them from Chain Battle, but now you can also buy them with not the same ones from Chain Battle, but you can buy chests that are specific to each member of Team Bardock to get equipment just for them with these special passes, and you use the passes to get the loot box. I'm going to keep calling them that, to then get the equipment for those specific characters. It does seem a little bit tedious, especially since it's like just the specific character and not like just Team Bardock characters in general, but that's okay.
Very RNG based.
Yeah. And I mean, again, free equipment is free equipment, so you can't complain.
It's not that much for time, to be fair, also.
True.
It's kind of boost, personally. But
yeah. I mean, it would be cool if Team Bardock just was the boost. Yeah. But a great point that Kayvon made in conversation from before, I'm actually going to credit for you as what? Not stealing your funny tweets. Basically, Kayvon did make the point before where this event has infinite possibilities for what they can do, because they can basically add any free-to-play character or set of characters as a stage on this event and give them free-to-play equipment.
Yeah, basically.
Which is great. And I really hope they do the same for the Guinea Force team and give them a lot better equipment than the Team Bardock, because they really need it.
You can even give equipments to, like, the Broly movie units, all those guys. Just any free units, honestly, that fit a theme.
Yeah, they could honestly do even units who aren't free, but I think that's probably what they're going to stick with for this. Like, they could do
even some like discounted units. Well, to be fair, they kind of did that with like the Universe 6 equipment, stuff like that, like with the Family Command Now equipments.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, those are more like discount equipments, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so maybe they'll relegate those to their own event and keep this for the free-to-play characters. But regardless, we're always happy to see a new introduction of a way to get equipment, regardless if it is RNG-based or not. It's a gacha game. What do you expect? Moving on. We did also have two EZAs announced at once that were actually pretty exciting. The AGL Caulifla and the Fizz Kale EZA. They are another one of these EZAs where you fight one boss and then the other boss, and then the first boss awakened and then the second boss awakened, and then you fight them both. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Their awakenings were very, very good. And yeah, good to see them as well. They kind of tie into what comes next in this celebration, and also obviously considering Kefla was just released. But we did also obviously have missions, login bonus, and then Hercule's heart-pounding gift. God bless. Did you get any rainbows from this, my friend?
I actually got 2 of them. That was kind of crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I went global, I get nothing.
You get nothing. Yeah.
You lose.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. Kefla's banner obviously dropping on the category boost against that stage stones. We kind of have talked about all of that already. But the other big impactful thing that came with part 2 of this celebration that I was kind of saving for the end was LR UI Goku's introduction to JP, baby. That's right. They added my man to JP, which I was super, super excited about. You already know. They obviously made all of the events that you need to awaken him live while his banner is here. And they basically completely revamped his banner minus like 3
Yeah,
units.
I was very surprised about that.
Yeah, they have not made that many banner changes in a while, and it honestly kind of surprises me that more people don't talk about that. I assume just because it's like it's not as much of a big deal because they're not Dokkan Fest units, but like still, bro.
I mean, I know you made a deal. What's your opinion on it? Do you find it JP one better?
Personally, yes.
I need to actually see the units because I do not remember.
We'll talk about it later, just because that could be a whole another podcast episode of us going back and forth between that. But I will show you after because it's interesting. Actually, if you want to go to that video, both of the banners are linked in the description if you really want to take a look at it right now. If you go to that comparison video, it's literally like the first 2 links in the description. It should be anyway. But regardless, though, moving on. We did get the release of the chain battle rewards. Obviously, we got that new chain battle boss. That being
Wow.
I know, wow, my favorite character. The God Goku, the rewards were sent out for that. This chain battle felt like it closed a lot quicker, but I don't know if that's actually the case or not.
I don't think it did, but no, I definitely did feel like it closed a lot quicker.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, if you want to check out our thoughts on chain battle, shameless plug to the last podcast, it was actually really good. It's one of my favorite episodes that we've ever recorded because it was just like me and Kayvon ranting and agreeing on every point, and it was great.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was a
Nice.
bug. Nice, a bug on JP. And there was some. Oh, what do you call it? Dragonstones released for it. It was the transformation of future Gohan, apparently.
Really?
Interesting. Yeah. Condition after 4th turn from the start of battle if the character with Trunks in the same name or in the name 58% or is 58% HP or more, childhood except GT, it will transform if it is on the team. Defect content, Human Pride, Super Saiyan Trunks future, and My future will not transform into Super Saiyan Gohan future even if the conditions are met.
Oh, okay. It's because they weren't recognized as a Trunks card. That's why.
Right.
So they had to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting.
Interesting. Kind of. Wait, has that literally gone under the radar since his release?
I think so.
Wow.
That's whack, actually.
That's actually pretty crazy.
So how many people use in future Gohan? Haha, funny.
That kind of cut deep, I'm not gonna lie. Oof. But anyhow, though, we did have the return of the Elder Kai banner, and then on top of that, obviously the Grand Priest event went live. The other thing that I didn't mention yet, though, about that was really, really nice about that as well, is if you cleared the missions, we got another dupe of LR Bardock, which we had no idea how to get yet. Global, yeah, right. Global's gonna get it.
We might honestly, I honestly feel like tying into our topic later in the video, a lot of this stuff on
Right.
JP we can get for 5th year.
Agreed.
Realistically, like Extreme Super Battle Road, the Grand Priest event for the Team Bardock. I feel like a lot of the stuff can be brought forward really quickly.
Yeah, I can 100% agree with that. So we'll see what happens. And then obviously Kalen Khalifa's EZA was released, and that was it. Basically the biggest thing was, I know, what? Lots of news. Basically it was just Kalen Khalifa's EZA and LRUI Goku.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so global time. Wow, starting with issues. Great.
Wait,
So
Global has issues? I thought you
definitely.
said it was the out of beta version.
Only sometimes. So basically, an issue with the Extreme Z Challenge Pack. This was really funny.
Bro, they screwed up the thing that made the money?
This is actually really funny, though. The tickets you get... So basically, everything was fine, but the tickets you got were for the next EZA, which was Vegeta's.
How does that work?
Basically, they labeled the ticket was coded wrong. And it's the ticket for the next EZA, which was Vegeta at the time. Or what, which is now Vegeta, we know that, but...
Huh.
So basically, the tickets got actually revoked from the players, and they were given the new ones, but they got to keep any of the other items.
Interesting.
So that's very interesting. Besides that, we get summon login bonus. So boy, been a while since that's been back actually.
Yeah, actually, it has been.
The bunch of story events went live. The Unknown Battle of God and Majin. The Potafu story.
What is it? It's unknown.
I know, right? The oh yeah, this is a weird. Cell's Prime Battle went live. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I don't know.
I don't even know why. Fight Against Despair went live. The EZA for the Extreme Z area for the farmable Super Saiyan Trunks from that story event went live. And this is interesting. They're already popping up some more 5th Annie news. Version 4.10.0 is coming, which adds in the JP update where the potential routes, like in the hidden potential, you could just like use the Awakening Medal right from hidden potential, which is very nice.
Mm-hmm.
It added how that you can remove support items by just clicking on them in the item select menu, which is very nice. The whole thing of basically everything on JV's update that it keeps your same trainer location got added, and I think also the medals that they automatically selected also got added.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about that one. Maybe not.
It's in that update, so probably.
Potentially, I don't know, but it doesn't say anything about it. Also, skill orbs and stickers are confirmed. Wow.
Who would have guessed?
I know, right? But now that's basically all for that update. It's actually... What is this actually happening? Does it say? I think it's actually later, but anyways. Oh boy, more Extreme Z challenge packs. Hopefully it's the fixed one, am I right?
Oh, actually, there was a piece of JP news that I forgot, but continue. I'll talk about later.
Okay, well, we'll tag it on at the end. Bond of Master and Disciple category summon. The tech support Dokkan Awakenings for Tien and second form Cell.
Let's go! Tien got shafted with his SA!
Pretty much. Vegeta's Extreme Z battle went live, not Extreme Z area, wrong one. This is a very interesting thing. Rank up packs will be renewed. So basically there was a thing on Global that, because it's not on JP, obviously because Funny Peel off Trove. There's this thing that was basically you paid around Canadian, by the way, but around 10 to 15 Canadian, so maybe like 9 to 12 USD.
Sounds about right.
And you got a free SSR ticket on the SSR Force ticket summon, which basically had units like STR Gogeta, AGR Rose, Fizz VB, basically a bunch of units that are great now with these EAs.
Mm-hmm.
And they have confirmed now that they are making new ones for the anniversary and announcing the SSR Force Summon 2.
Bro, it was so good they brought it back for a second time.
Yep, and this the previous rank growth packs are expected to be removed by the 5th of next month. So
wait,
I might low-key buy the last one, just to have that last ticket.
No cap. Did they really sell that well? That it warranted a 2?
I mean, to be fair, like, that much for, like, a guaranteed SSR, and with how much value those guys have now, and how much value this one probably will have if they're the same price, it'll be very nice, honestly.
Yeah, fair enough.
But the last point, maintenance announcement for the, well, maintenance update. When is it even happening? Oh, it's happening tonight. Wow. Or, yeah, tonight when this goes up.
Got him.
Wow. We have the Surpassing Even the Gods Dokkan event is back for Easy Blue Vegeta to awaken him. The Extreme Z Dokkan Festival for him with Fizz Kid Buu and Fizz Cooler. Wow.
His 2 greatest enemies.
And of course, the Weekend Summon special missions went live for an extra 7 tickets. And the Weekend Summon went live, and its banner is decent, not bad.
Very decent.
Fizz Tefla, Topo, Gowasu, Super Kaioken, Seal Tanks. Definitely not bad. And funny enough, there are LRs on this banner, which is whack. Because I don't remember weekend banners ever having LRs, unless I'm tripping.
Someone on the stream said that they always have, but I don't remember that either. So I don't think you're tripping, but I don't know.
Regardless, that's all Globals news. Except not really. LR, Nap, and Vegeta got confirmed.
Yeah, I was just going to say. So
this is EZA.
yes.
Little celebration.
Yeah, all of that got confirmed. First by Dokkanner, and then by the Twitter itself confirmed Nappa and Vegeta. Which, oh, by the way, the category for what's the original category's name again?
Diabolical Villains.
And the new name is
Inhuman Deeds.
So good.
I still stand by the fact that it's definitely a more accurate name for the category.
Agreed, but it's still stupid.
But it's still a bad name in general. But yeah, just call it Betrayal. Come on,
bro.
That's what it is.
I still love that Garash tweet, bro. He called that category Naughty Boys, bro, and it's correct.
Inhuman Deeds done dirt cheap. JoJo references. Haha, funny. Called it Filthy Acts done at a reasonable price, you
know? So that is going to tie into what we're talking about today, but there is technically 2 pieces of JP news that I did miss. One, top grossing. JP did hit top grossing. It's not on DBZ Space. I don't know why, but JP did hit top grossing for the UI Goku banner, which is very cool. We got the iOS store first place.
The JP Shaft there, by the way.
What's up?
JP only got 30. Global got 35. JP Shaft.
I mean, low key, after all the global shafts, take the dub. Take that single, bro.
Global shafts are always subjective. Let's be real.
Subjective. I guess you're right. Yeah.
Anyhow, but yeah, they'll probably get another 100. Who knows?
Yeah. Actually, as unfortunate as it is to break your little heart, probably not.
I mean, I got him first multi. I don't care. Got him flex.
Yeah. Don't talk to me. Anyway.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Because unfortunately, obviously we have that website that tells us the rankings of the current sales for our mobile games in Japan. And iOS hit it, and they hit it really quickly. Android at that time was at like 24 in terms of highest grossing. At the time of this recording, they are number 3, so it is still possible. But just the fact that iOS hit it so quickly kind of makes me think that no. Also, the fact that Fate Go and Monster Strike are above Dokkan at the moment doesn't give me hope.
That's fair.
Because Japan loves both of those games to no end. So who knows? Could happen, but I'm going to tell you, probably not. Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, unfortunate. The other piece of JP news that we did miss, I know what, more, is that we did actually get V-Jump this month, and it's nothing new.
He's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, once in a while, what they'll do is that when they don't have a new unit planned, they'll talk about an upcoming banner which has some big boy units on it. For last year's Tanabata celebration, they did this as well. And for this year's Tanabata celebration, they are doing the same thing. They showed in V-Jump that Super Saiyan Blue, I almost said Goku, Gogeta and Super Saiyan Blue Vegito are both going to be returning on the Tanabata banner. We don't know any information about that. We do also know that the Wish strips are going to be returning, though, so that is pretty cool.
But I'm happy for that.
Me too. But other than that, nothing really new. This is kind of an interesting time for Dokkan. I don't remember if I said this in a podcast or a video before, but I'm gonna say it again. It's a really interesting time for Dokkan because at the moment, pretty much everything that is coming. Well, I mean, I guess kind of what we're going to talk about today. Global's curveballs changes a little bit, but for the most part, we basically know everything that's coming up on both versions. Global is about to go into its 5th year anniversary right after Alola, Vegeta, and Nappa. And obviously, JP is right about to hit the Tanabata celebration, and we know how those go, and we also know what units are going to be coming for that. So it's really interesting that there is kind of like nothing new happening on both versions, even though obviously for global players and for me as well, 5th year is super, super duper exciting. But it's just interesting that there's like no new units coming up. And also kind of interesting that both units will be having the big blues featured at the same time.
Yeah, very interesting.
I'm gonna call them that from now on. That's a good name. I like that. I like that.
Blues.
The big blues, the big old blue. You've seen Finding Nemo, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, terrible transition. Finding Nemo is a great allegory for content coming out ahead of schedule.
Yeah, I'm gonna give that one a yikes, Chief.
We're gonna be talking about the that bald man and his inhumane deeds. Rather, I guess his short, long-haired friend.
And I gotta do that. We're gonna act some inhuman deeds if you don't watch this ad. Got him.
We'll be right back.
I tried.
And we are back.
Did you enjoy those messages? Were they cheap?
Were they cheap? If not, we're gonna be added to the inhumane deeds category. Do you like that?
Exactly. There you go. Transition. Thank you.
It'll be an LR based off of the Extreme Z podcast art.
That would be dope, actually. You just get that commission.
Yo, can someone make that, please? If you're out here watching that, that'd be sick.
That would be amazing.
Excuse me. Anyway, though, let's talk about some shenanigans today. Why are we not talking about shenanigans on the podcast?
I mean, that's the podcast as a whole, pretty much.
Bruh! Yeah, you're right. So let's talk about it. Right now, Global is in the middle of a interesting period of time where they have been before.
Our anniversary.
Yeah, they've done it before, but I feel like it's a good time to talk about it now, especially because of just, I guess, the units that are coming out for it, and also we just want to talk about it, to be frank with you.
Clout, you know, right?
Wait, clout? What?
We want clout. That's why.
Sure, yeah. I mean, clout coins are always good. You know, you can buy your clout units from the clout shop.
Exactly.
That was a way too abstract joke for my brain to handle at 3:45 in the morning. Let's get into it.
Don't complain. You're not allowed.
Wait, what?
You're not allowed to complain. It's almost 5 o'clock for me.
Get a better time zone, forehead.
Get a better sleep schedule, forehead.
All right, you got me there. I can't wait. On
Got him.
You're in the same boat. All right, anyway, let's talk about it.
All right, we're getting off topic again.
Before we get into the actual logistics of this, let's establish what we mean by ahead of schedule. So, when we talk about units and banners coming out in terms of their schedule, we mean in the time frame that they came out on JP. Okay, so
which to preface this at least, Global usually messes with their schedule a bit. It's not like a coherent thing. Like there'll always be changes. But usually around this time during anniversary is when a lot of those changes start showing. Like Fizz is coming out before anniversary, which on JP came out after anniversary.
Right, and Vegeta and Nappa as well.
Them too.
Kind of weird that they chose them, but whatever. That's a different thing.
They chose Beerus or
Vegeta and
Vegeta.
Nappa.
I think it's mainly because they already brought a Dokkan Fest forward, and there's not enough time. Because right now, the celebration is only gonna last at most a week, maybe two if they don't want to do the countdown that long.
I mean, but like, why them?
Who else could they have brought then?
I'll get back to you on that one. But let me continue my train of thought here. So, um, we're not talking about like, Gotenks was released June 6th, so he needs to come out on June 6th, right? We mean, right, the Bardock banner, right, came out before the Vegeta and Nappa banner, and then after the Vegeta and Nappa banner was the Gotenks banner, right? Because of that, just as a kind of an example for the sake of it, with the time in between those banners and to an extent that the order that the banners come out, that doesn't always matter necessarily, but more so the time frame in between the banners and when different banners are released is what we mean in specific, right?
Yeah.
Talking about like, oh, this banner came out 2 weeks after this banner, or like, oh, this banner came out like a month after this banner, stuff like that, right? So that's when we mean the time frame in the schedule when we reference that, because I know sometimes that is a little bit confusing rather for people. Also, I guess you're right. There isn't another LR that came out after that, so
yeah, that's another issue we should talk about because like a lot of people when we talk about this, they like when they think like global rushing stuff. Anniversary is really hard for global just because of the fact that we get to the point where there's not much we can really take from JP. Because think about it this way, all that we can really take is Kefla. Because Gotenks and Boo are saved exclusively for the thank you banner.
Wait, in what regard do you mean?
Like of which banners we could take after 50 and put them before 50 for global.
Oh.
Make up the gap.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Well, I guess let's get into first, why does global put banners ahead of schedule in the first place? Let's discuss that first.
It's mainly just to make so there isn't like literally no banners.
But how come they can't just come in? How come they can't just release in the order that they do on JP?
Well, for one, a lot of the time is because a banner that was on global was also on JP, like for dual celebrations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, let's actually look on DVD Space real quick.
Oh, bro.
What came out before 5th year?
We're getting the DMs?
Yep. What came out before 5th year on JP? Let's see if we can find it.
I'm already basically there. It would be Goku and Vegeta. The Super Saiyan 3 and Majin Vegeta, right? That was a dual celebration. Gumku.
We already had him before.
13.
We got him.
Godku.
So basically everything we already got, essentially.
Yeah. So
there's literally nothing for us to get.
But why are those banners released? Why are okay, yeah. So those are caught up. But is it because I guess it would have to be because of the dual celebrations then, right? Because that's the reason why there's a slot that's not filled.
Essentially. And it could also be just the fact that
and Bardock, we forgot about that.
Yeah. It could also be like, I don't know the specifics of it because I'm just like freeballing here, but it could just be something that like it just doesn't line up as properly as it would on JP.
In what way?
Like just like I don't know how to word this properly. Like we get like sometimes we get different banners at different times in general. That could in the long game basically like affect the schedule as a whole.
Gotcha.
I don't know if it's making sense. I'm tired, but I'm trying to get my best.
No. You're right. That has many different factors to it. That can apply to the current power scaling of the game, the current power creep. That can also apply to what units can then be placed and changed on different upcoming banners that won't mess with the overall banner schedule and, again, the overall power scaling of the game.
And it's also a thing that another issue is that we have set units that usually come out at set times. Like I said, Gotenks and Boo are most likely the thank you celebration for global, so you can't bring them forward. Vegeta Blue and Gogeta are obviously 5th year, so you can't move them at all. The only one you can really move like they already did, was Beerus.
Mm-hmm.
And usually that's what they always do is move a Dokkan Fest house after 5th year to before 5th year for Global.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was Kid Goku. This year was Beerus, and they just, I guess, decided to also film I saw with Vegeta and Nappa. And it could also be that because they saw on JP that it wasn't really a good selling point. So on Global, they decided to like release it and get it over with in a way, you could say.
Right, because no one's gonna summon on it anyway.
Yeah. And
So
plus, we also got a little foreshadow to it because we did get Krillin stupid early.
true.
And Krillin did come with Vegeta and Nappa, so it makes sense.
True.
So it's not like it's blatant, like just rushed out. There was logic behind it. It did coincide at least a bit better than things usually do.
Yes.
Because, like, for example, way back when 300 million downloads? Was it? Yeah, with Cell and Gohan.
Mm-hmm.
JP went from Saiyan Saga to Frieza Saga to Cell Saga.
Yeah.
Global to Cell Saga. So, I mean...
Funny Cell Saga.
And then we got Saiyan Saga. So, I mean... Okay.
Yeah, they just don't care about the continuity, I suppose.
I mean, it's not that they don't care. It's the fact that they can't really do it while keeping the Dual Fest, like, a theme up. Because, like, then they would have to release... who was it? Namek, Goku, Fizz, Piccolo, and all that stuff. They would have to release all of that early on Global, which would definitely affect the timeline very negatively.
That sounds just so funny that the way that you say that, but yes, you're correct.
I mean, that's what way I can really put it.
Bro, it sounds like you're talking about the MCU timeline here.
Yeah, I'm Doctor Strange. I'm looking through the timelines.
Bro.
No, you get my point, though. Right?
No, I 100% understand. It's just kind of the nature of the global version as well.
Just kind of fill in the gaps is the thing, because as much as people want to say global isn't like it's too far from JP, in a lot of ways it really isn't, but at the same time it also is at certain points because like during Anniversary it really shows how like close we are to JP, but just not at the same wavelength. But then after
yes, you're right. Yeah.
And after Anniversary, like the gap widens again.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like the gap widens and shrinks depending on the time, and I think that's mostly because of set like things that have to happen. Because you can't change when the anniversary happens.
Right.
That's not how anniversaries work.
Yeah.
So you have to obviously you have to change other stuff to make it make sense. And that's why they move the banners here and there or replace units on certain banners.
I think the source of the content changing at all, though, I think just boils down to, besides like everything that you mentioned, I think what it started with, because it's kind of evolved into everything that we just said, I think it was rooted in dual celebrations and Japanese exclusive banners.
That is also very true.
Yeah, because
remember, actually, that's a good thing. Heroes, way back when, was banners we never got on Global.
Agreed.
Remember the original Heroes banners?
I wish it was on Global because that would have been really dope.
But hey, at least everything henceforth is going to be on Global.
Facts.
But think about that. That makes actually that might have been where it actually really started. The Heroes.
And
those banners Global didn't get, and those occupied a good 2 weeks.
True.
That's 2 weeks Global has to fill somehow.
Did Global also get the banner for the new era?
For who?
The new era in Japan?
They did not, because
so that's another one.
Yeah, true, that is another one, but it's a bit of a lesser extent because there was obviously a banner alongside it. It was not like a standalone thing. Heroes was like standalone.
But I mean more so in the context of like that's just another banner that
they can't use for something else, yeah.
Yeah, and also it still does take up some time though, because I mean sometimes those banners go away before one of another. But
I would say definitely Heroes is probably above it though, like the old Heroes. And then like you said, dual celebrations, obviously. Like they have to like it's weird because like Global is getting a new banner that isn't in the schedule. But at the same time it's another banner they can't take from JP to fit in a gap. As weird as that sounds.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Same thing with Global First stuff. I know it's not really our topic today.
No. Funny enough, I was actually just gonna say that now is also part of the issue.
Yeah, because global first stuff is stuff we get that could move around the schedule a bit too, but it's also stuff that we can't take from JP when they get it.
And JP can just slap it anywhere.
Yeah, because a good example was, when did Blue Kaioken come out?
On JP or global?
On JP. Was it before Goku or before Gotenks rather?
Yes. Let me double check that. But keep talking. Definitely before Gotenks. 100%.
I need to find it, that's why. So
it was it before 5th year? No.
Definitely not. Maybe it was after Gotenks.
Am I dumb blind? How come I can't find this?
Dumb and blind?
Not dumb and blind, just dumb blind.
No way it's before 5th year. That's crazy. Crazy time.
I don't see it listed here. I think I am actually dumb blind.
I mean, if you're blind, then I'm blind too, because I don't see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on you. I'll check on the wiki. Keep talking. It's definitely not after Gotenks, though.
Basically, another things like that, like, that's a banner JP gets that Global can't, like, do that banner again, obviously, unless they decide to do it eventually, but who knows.
Right.
Like, they can't do that again, so they have to find something else for that time slot. Like, what do you put there if the banner was already there on Global?
Right.
So they have to either stretch some stuff out, make stuff shorter, just throw something else there or something, because as sad as it is, like, Dokkan always has to have a banner to summon. Like, not just for the fact that, like, they need money or they want to make money.
I mean, that's who can blame them?
Like, that's the main draw of the game, is you want to summon.
Right.
Who would play a game that's based on summoning when there's nothing to summon?
Dun 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 dun.
Like, as dumb as that sounds, like, they have to have a banner up because that's what draws people in. Even a bad banner like Nappa and Vegeta, which, I mean, like the LR as much as you want, it's not the topic of this video, or podcast rather. Like, they need something there to get people to summon. To at least have something there that if people do want to summon, they can summon.
Agreed.
Because it's better to have something there for people to summon on, even if they don't summon, than to have nothing to summon on and people just want to summon and they can't do anything.
Oh, wow. SSBK came out right after Bardock and right before LR, Vegeta, and Nappa.
See, that's painful. That might be a reason why this year is so weird.
Mm-hmm.
We had Bardock and we had Blue Kaioken. That's almost a month that we have to make up on Global.
And look at us now.
And the funny thing is, Global early content can also alleviate the issue of needing to move banners, because obviously there's something there to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
But it can also take away just the same. It all depends on how it's played. And it feels like this year it was played a little bit worse because, like, we still have a gap, and Beerus wasn't enough to fill the gap, unlike Kid Goku.
Right.
So they had to bring up Nappa and Vegeta, because obviously if they brought in Kefla before 5th year, people would go crazy. They would riot.
Agreed.
And obviously Gotenks and Boot can't move them. They're already a preset celebration on Global because it's tradition at this point.
Right.
Golden Week is always the thank you celebration for Global. So they're not going to move it. And there's literally nothing else to get taken. JP got Godku. We already got Godku. Or Godku. UI Goku. We already have UI Goku. That's another thing that might have contributed to it too.
I love you, UI Goku, but dang, bro, you really got to do us like that.
I mean, and even another thing, they couldn't even like reuse the like returning legendary banners too, because those were tied to Golden Week.
Right.
So they're probably going to come back for Global's Golden Week, or thank you celebration rather. So there's literally not much they could do, unless they actually want to have a literal dead period in Dokkan.
I mean, it's happened before.
Well, I'm talking about like dead period in the word of like no banners to someone on, not just content. There's nothing.
That'll never happen.
That's what I mean. That's what they have to avoid.
Yeah, right.
And they have to do it by any means necessary, essentially.
Now, can you believe that was basically 17 minutes of setup to our question?
Wait, what?
So we haven't even technically touched the question yet. We've been setting up the fact of No. That's good though, because now you can understand how this is such a difficult question to ask, because all this time we were talking about why do banners get released ahead of schedule? Now we have to talk about, is all of that bad?
What do you think? I've been talking too much. I want to.
I mean, I've been talking all day. You can talk however long you want, homie. No.
Speak,
Wait, what?
speak monkey.
Oh, thank you, Frieza. I appreciate your boo, not Frieza. Stay in character. Anyway.
Funny candy.
Funny. It's a bit of a mixed bag. Because, well, to fix the problem outright, you would have to rush some more things and stop with dual celebrations, which would really suck. Because I love the dual celebrations, and I love, like, especially like our dynamic of which versions we play. Obviously, we both play both, but I main JP and you play global, and it's nice when we can literally like contribute about the same thing, even though we can talk about the same unit all the time anyway. But like, when the same unit comes out on both, it's super hype, and everybody's super excited to just kind of like come together as a giant community.
Instead of having like a separate community for each version.
Exactly. It's super, super nice. And I also think that global exclusive banners are, or global exclusive, global first, we should call them now, because global exclusive isn't a thing. Global first banners are cool because not only does it show that, hey, we as the developer see that you guys exist, we acknowledge you, we appreciate you, we're going to give you some cool content before the other version of the game that most people kind of conceive is the version that they care about more. And it's also just, nice that it's like, hey, for a change, I have the shiny new toy before the other version. And I don't mean in like a toxic.
Still complain about that, but
yeah, and I don't mean in a toxic way.
Another video.
Right. I mean more so in the way of like, hey, it's cool that I kind of get it first for a change, and I can experience a unit instead of having to watch someone else tell me about it. Right. I don't mean in the way of like, I have the new unit first, funny PNG. But
I definitely agree with you.
Yeah,
it's nice having to boot on the other foot for a little bit.
yeah, something like that. That was like the redneck Cinderella story that you just said right there. Now, as much as I don't want all of those things to end, do I think it's bad? Sometimes. Which is not the answer that I wanted to even say, but thank you, Brain. Here's the reason why, though. And I mean, I guess that is kind of actually what I think, as unfortunate as that's not really what I wish my opinion was. The reason why is because mainly for me, it really stinks when I see a unit. Bro, can you imagine, not you, the player, not your version that you play, the unit itself getting shafted? That is right.
Yeah.
The unit itself gets shafted. All of my boys on the Dragon Ball Heroes get shafted. In fact, the entire Heroes banner got shafted. Big L for your boy right there. Honestly, the biggest L I've ever taken. No cap. I need to stop saying that. But now, a unit that, is pretty good and, is fun to use might not get as much love simply because of the time that they came out, right? I think Beerus is a cool unit. I think he's fun to use. Not to mention his active skill on global. Don't mess with the God of Destruction is really funny, right?
Yeah.
It's just a good time. And his banner is also really, really good, right?
It's their cooler. I mean, what?
Okay. That's, again, a whole nother topic for another video, which I did, by the way. But I still feel like SSBK is a very good replacement for him. I digress.
And just add on to that, it alleviates the problem of when he's coming back. Like that kid. He came back after the year. Never again, please.
Never again. Yeah.
But anyways, I get what you mean, though.
Yeah, so these units get big shafted. And not to mention now LR, Vegeta, and Nappa are getting shafted.
I will say, though.
Even though they're not that popular. Yes.
Is that really the fault? I'm not really the fault of the developers because they're making the decision, but like, is that really that much of a negative when that comes down more to the timing rather than them being pushed forward? Because like, in retrospect, anything that came before 50, even if it wasn't pushed forward, still got that shaft of being at a bad time.
Yeah, I guess that's only circumstantial for the situation now. You're right.
But I do agree with you. It does suck when, because like Beerus is still a great unit. His banner was great. Blue Kaioken, cooler, either one is still a great banner. it was better on JP because obviously it was after 5th year, and well, arguably better because people had no stones to summon on it probably.
Oh, don't come with no stones.
Yeah, but like now on global, people had to make I mean, it's obviously also a good business practice because now people are like, do I want the shiny new Beerus or do I want
And
Blue
especially with those discount, bro.
Boys? I mean, low key, if they pop up more of those out, I'm not gonna I'm gonna have bigger banners because that is such a good deal. Like another, I hope JP can get that at least, if not regular discounts. Come on, that's too good.
It's never gonna happen.
The better version, everybody.
It's the exchange that we get for getting the unit first. That's how I look at it.
That's fair.
Play that sad Tokyo Ghoul theme.
But no, I get what you mean. Like, it does suck when a unit is like has their spot like stolen almost.
Now hold up. Let me throw you a little quick retaliation here, a little rebound for you.
Hmm?
I do still think that it applies even outside of the anniversary because I suppose it kind of just applies for any banner coming up that you might want to pull for. And we're going to bring the red coins into this. If there's a particular unit that you wanted to buy on the red coins, right? You maybe only have enough for one, right? And you're like, oh, I'm going to buy this unit because I don't have them on this banner when it comes out. And then the unit that you maybe wanted as much comes out first instead. Well, now you're down 500 red coins and your original plan was down the drain. Granted, again, that comes down to personal preference. But now you can't buy that other unit that you wanted to get, with red coins.
I agree, but at the end of the day, as
yes, but actually no. Yeah.
Can you really complain about that when in the first place you're having what JP players cannot have at all, which is the foresight to at least try and have a plan, even if the devs say like, nope.
I mean, fair enough, I suppose.
I mean, I'm not saying it still doesn't suck.
No,
that
you're right.
Sucks having your plan just ruined.
No,
But
you're
like
definitely
example, I was gonna buy SCR Cooler. I was ready, and then I see Blue Kaioken, and I'm just there like, well, guess this is my life now.
And literally, it was so funny too because so many people made memes about that.
Yeah.
Like there's a bunch of memes about like the banner, like they photoshopped it where it was like the get cooler from the red coins banner. I was like, dang, bro, that's some dedication to the boy, and I'm all for it because I simp for STR Cooler. But
it's funny though. We could talk about another issue too. Like, were people really mad about beer coming first when they only wanted cooler?
to be fair, I think in the case of Beerus, no. Again, it just kind of sucks for the case of Beerus.
Yeah, Beerus. Like, even Beerus is better on JP. People wanted cooler more than Beerus, man.
True. Which
Like,
kind of stinks because that he's like the first like really, really good besides ELR Beerus in the game.
I mean, Tech Beerus at the time was, well, Tech Beerus with his Easy A at the time was amazing.
But I mean like default unit.
He is like definitely an amazing unit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know, like timing always plays a role. And I feel like sometimes you can blame it on the timing, sometimes you just kind of can't. Because even on JP, the timing is just bad sometimes. Like,
yeah, it's
Blue Kaioken and Bardock coming out before Golden Week.
yeah.
Like,
sometimes the celebration is coming.
Come on, stop trying to get my stones, Godspeed.
Your stones, hand them over.
Like,
In terms of besides timing, though, I mean, I guess that is sort of what this boils down to at the end of the day, because I mean, it is talking about scheduling.
yeah.
The only other way that it could be bad, and I don't think that there's too many examples of this. There are a couple if you dig through Dokkan's history, and I guess Dokkan really doesn't give two flying cares, gotcha, Susan, about the power creep in their game and how powerful units are, but there has been cases where a unit has released on global before JP where they power creep the game a little bit more than the state of JP is. Category units, LRs.
Yeah.
You could also even apply that in my mind, at least. I've always thought that this is an example that people don't really talk about, but Pure Saiyan's leader transforming Vegeta, because
No, I can agree with that.
at the time, and I mean, he still has a really good Rainbow lead besides the
Mm.
Saiyans, but he came really early on Global because obviously he was a dual Dokkan Fest, and for
You
Global,
mean dual celebration?
wait, what?
You said dual Dokkan Fest. You mean a dual
Sorry, yes,
celebration?
I did. Thank you.
You
Sorry, I got fifth year on the mind.
I mean, I same.
We all do. We have since 2019. Um, regardless, though, I lost my train of thought.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Literally, Vegeta's right release on Global early is already Global being ahead of running a rainbow team with any pure Saiyan that you have on there getting a beefy boost. And
Mm.
that was a thing that at the time, like during the set schedule, remember the rules that we established at the beginning of this section of the podcast, right?
Yeah.
At JP's time frame, they were not as advanced as Global was
Yeah.
when Vegeta released
That
on Global.
yeah, dual celebrations are always weird for the like meta of the version,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to global. That's
And
why as much as sorry to cut you
no,
off,
no, no,
but
no, do it. Go for it. I've been
that's
talking
why
too much.
as much as I'm gonna get like hung from by the comments probably or the community in general,
Bruh.
I still believe to be released was justified.
Yeah, we gotta end this episode right here. Thank you guys so much for watching.
No, but like on the real, like my reasoning is global wasn't even finished with 120. You can't bring categories. And at that point, it was either you do the dual celebration and not have the leader skills, or you just don't do it at all. Now, it's up to the person's perspective. They wanted not the celebration not done at all, or the units without the leader skills. But it's perspective again. But my perspective is I'd rather have the units with no skill than not have the unit at all.
Now, even in that case, right? Sure, the leader skill didn't power creep the game yet because I mean, funny to be released.
Mhm.
But were Omega and Gogeta not a lot more powerful units than were available on Global at the time, to an extent at least?
Honestly, at the time, personally, I don't think so because that was right when AGL Vegeta and STR Goku, the OG Super Saiyan 4s released. And I'm not saying Gogeta is bad, especially
Gogeta
like
sucks. We don't even have to go there.
no,
I'm gonna lay that fat
no.
opinion on the
Because
table.
obviously, I'd say Goku and Vegeta are easily comparable to Gogeta.
What about Omega
Say-
though? Omega's dope.
Omega is good too, but he was still nothing really that special. Because heck,
You
Goku
don't
had more of an
think they
attack
were
boost
more
than Omega.
popular than the
Oh,
120s
I'm not.
though?
I'm not talking about popularity. I'm talking about
No,
like
no, no,
actual
power.
units.
Yeah.
I'm talking about actual power. Because like
Yeah.
Goku is one of still the strongest 120.
Okay.
Minus maybe cooler, but
Then let me ask
I
you
also
this: Why
think
did it? Was it just because of their cat? Maybe that does actually make sense. I guess it must
yeah,
have just been because of their category leader skill that they felt so powerful.
pretty much because that was a meta. Global was not even like they wouldn't even have known anything about that meta. There was no like hint about categories. They were the first category leaders, and again, Global just started the 120s. Goku and Vegeta were, I think, the first ones,
They were, yeah.
and you're gonna introduce categories after the 120s just started. That would be a horrible business practice.
True.
Why even summon for the 120s at that rate?
To be fair, I do kind of think that it was still a bad business move on their part because
I mean,
you're still right. Why even summon for the 120s if you know JP is going to get these
at the end of the
categories?
day, it was a bad choice no matter what, and I'm glad they've
Agreed.
learned more
Agreed.
since then. And that's probably why JP hasn't had a new meta yet. And I still have problems with the category meta because of all these new interesting categories, to say the least. But I feel like because we're in such a like
I'm not gonna
solid
meta, pop off. Just keep talking.
Yeah, we're just in such a solid meta where the game can still thrive if done right, that we don't need any new meta. And by that extension, Global doesn't need to face that problem again.
It would be kind of nice though. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I'd say the most we could use is like 150 type leads. That would be dope. I want that.
Low key, 70% meta was the best. Don't at me.
I mean, that was. I prefer the 3-key, 3000% attack.
Okay, well now you're just smoking the funny Dokkan.
Of course. But I think. Have we found an answer to our question yet? I don't think we really. I think we beat around the bush a bit too much.
Well, I mean, we're sort of like discussing our thoughts around the question to come to a conclusion about the question.
With how these questions usually work, if we're talking about it this much, the answer is always just highly subjective.
And that's sort of the point. It's supposed to be, highly subjective, and we kind of formulate opinions, and there's no real true answer to the question. That's how the YouTube algorithm works. We click you in with a question that doesn't actually have an answer. You just figured out how clickbait works. That Discord DC noise was perfect timing for that. By the way, this is water, Susan, if you're hearing this sound, just so you know, because I know it might sound like some funny juice, but it's water, I promise.
Likely story.
Yeah. You know for a fact that's why. Anyway, we're not going to go there. So.
No. But anyways, I think at the end of the day, it just all comes down to how you think about it, because global moving stuff forward at the end of the day doesn't change that much in the grand scheme of things, because you're really just going to use your stones on fifth year at the end of the day.
Okay. In a bubble, though, the only time that it really matters is if it pushes the game forward in terms of power creep, even more so if it pushes it forward in terms of meta.
Yeah, if there's a very drastic unit that comes out, on a global that JP just got or didn't, or a dual celebration thing, that definitely is understandable, because then that would shatter the fabric of the game. The game's over.
Shatter the fabric of reality. Wait. Shatter the fabric of reality forever.
Now, but thankfully, the developers seem smart enough to know that they will. Because at the end of the day, even Omega and Gogeta, while they were still great units, especially with their leader skill introduced in a new meta, they weren't any meta-breaking unit by themselves. They just brought categories.
And counters were already introduced with Forku and Vegeta as well, so...
they weren't really meta-shattering units besides their leader skill, which started a new meta, so...
Right. I think the nice thing that's, kind of is to the category meta's favor in terms of at least this whole moving things forward thing is that realistically a lot of the category units are kind of around the same power level. Obviously, we have some that are really good and some that are not so good in comparison. Wait, what?
Some that are the special pose category.
Don't even get me started, bro. Regardless, though, when it comes to the unit themselves, right? You can pretty much release any category unit, at least in the modern age, in any order, and it doesn't really goof on global too hard. Even if a unit itself is really good, it's just kind of a little bit of an edge that global has. Realistically, it's the leader skill that makes a difference in terms of meta breaking or power creeping. So they can pretty much release any category unit that's on JP on global and be just fine. Obviously, they can't just release Gogeta and Vegeta out of nowhere. That's kind of different. But how Bardock was released on both versions at the same time, that didn't really do anything in terms of power creeping global. He's just another active skill category lead.
Pretty much, yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately, this is another question that we can't really answer for you.
Let us know in the comments what you think.
Generally speaking, though, just to hear your final thoughts, do you have a general consensus of yes or no, or what you would prefer anyway, I guess?
Honestly, realistically, I'd prefer if we were at the same pace as JP, so we wouldn't have to fling any banners around needlessly. But I don't think it's that bad. Sure, in a way it does suck, but if I could spin it this way, isn't it just content we're getting sooner? Well, quote unquote content.
True. Yeah.
So
banners aren't content. I know that's a whole nother podcast. We're not going to talk about that right now. But yes, I agree with you.
What do you think?
Generally, I'm not really a big fan. I 100% agree with you, and actually, we might do a podcast episode about this at some point. But I do think that I would prefer as well if both versions were kind of just synced up, because I think that would make things not just more fun for both versions, but also just kind of make more sense.
I agree yet disagree with that.
I will say the anniversary is almost an entirely different topic. Kind of weaves into that, but kind of not. But generally speaking, not really a fan of it. But I do agree with you that that is nice sometimes because then you, in a weird way, you get content sooner.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, by the way? Or do you not want to rebuttal the point just for another
I was going to say, I agree. I don't agree with you because if Global and JP were in sync, in a way, it would take out the specialness of the dual celebrations. And sure, it might be better in the grand scheme of things, but also would be bad for Global because then we wouldn't have our foresight, obviously, and then I honestly feel it'd be more unfair to JP if we were not the same because then we just have better dual Dokkan Fest because we'd have ticket. Like,
yeah,
at that point,
true.
why play JP?
True.
As weird as that is to say.
True. Japanese players crying. No, stop crying, please.
Tickets and discounts, better version.
Only sometimes, bro. Pilaf Trove invalidates your entire point. I rest my case.
Hey, man.
Nah, if
JP had the daily capsule, wow. The daily capsule, it'd be.
Oh, you know I would buy that, yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'd be mad if you didn't.
Dang, I didn't expect to hear that from you, but yeah, okay.
But anyways, to sum it up, let us know what you think in the comments. We just, there's pros and cons to it at the end of the day.
I wish there was a more concrete answer here.
One day we'll have a podcast with a concrete answer.
Yeah, someday. Once in a while we do. But I do think it was fun as well to kind of get down into the nitty-gritty of the root of this problem as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's no way to, Imada Genkai da! Go back in time and fix our issues. But, what can you do? It's the current state of Dokkan. We live in a Dokkan society. You know how it be.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're all just waiting for 5th year.
That's true. Yo, low-key, both versions are kind of waiting for 5th year. It's really weird. Anyway, though.
JP's waiting for 5th year too.
5th year too, yeah.
Just what Tanabata is, let's be honest.
5th year too. Something like that, yeah.
But anyways, yeah.
Again, thank you guys for watching. We always very, very much appreciate it. As the big boy sitting across from me said, definitely give us your thoughts in the comments section below because we would love to hear. I mean, also a friend. But regardless, so let us know what you think because we'll obviously be reading the comments. I read the comments on every single video, and if it's a comment that pertains to Kibon, I'm like, hey, check this out, boy. So we do actually care about your opinion. We actually read it. I know, right? Crazy.
Crazy.
Anyway, though, from all of us here at the Extreme Z podcast, stay safe out there, ladies and gentlemen. Good luck on the upcoming 5th year shenanigans. We will see you in the next one.
Bye, guys.